Okay, so you've told me that you had an edit of Kenobi after me and Rhino just got done in a conversation where I autistically fixated on Star Wars lore for like 30 minutes. So hit me.
Yeah, I did. Well, I'm just on my phone right now. Can you hear me okay? Okay. So I have a whole video about it on my channel. I think the Dropbox link is actually, or the Google Drive link is actually still good if you want to download the whole thing. But a couple years ago, actually, like right before my channel blew up, I made a feature-length edit of the whole Kenobi show, which cuts out and it cuts out a lot of the fluff. I added some like flashback stuff to episode 3. And I redid my crowning achievement was re-editing all of this is so fucking nerdy. I re-edited both of the fights between Obi-Wan and Vader to have John Williams music using Duel of the Fates or not Duel of the Fates, but Anakin versus Obi-Wan for the final battle, which necessitated that I also had to redub all of the lightsaber and sound effects, which I did.
That's fucking amazing. So, okay, I don't know if you know this about me, but I'm a big Dragon Ball nerd. And one of my favorite pieces of media on the internet are the various, because there's a lot of them now, the various movie recuts of the entire series that go arc by arc and do that. And some of them will do things. I don't know how much you know about like the production of Dragon Ball.
Nope.
Okay.
Nothing.
So when Dragon Ball came here, we got Z first. And we got Z first because it seemed like it was going to be more marketable, and because anime was not, hitting here in the West yet. We had gotten some anime before, but it didn't really pique anybody's interest the way that it does now. This was back when we did a lot of like heavy changes to the dub. This is back when we would change entire soundtracks for an anime to make them seem more palatable to the United States viewers. So the second dubbing of Dragon Ball that we got here was from Funimation, and the person who did the person who did the score for it was a guy named Bruce Faulkner. Now, there's some controversy about how much of Faulkner's stuff is like plagiarized or not. Don't want to get into that right now. But for a lot of DBZ nerds, the Faulkner score is what Dragon Ball Z is. Like, that's the music that we grew up on. When you see Vegeta come on screen, that's the music we expect. Whereas the score from the original run was a carried over score from the first half of the series, Dragon Ball, which was a lot more corny, a lot more kooky. It was more, let's have a grand adventure with Sun Wukong, was kind of the vibe that it was going for. Yep. And so there's a lot of that music that like doesn't seem like it fits perfectly well to people who grew up with the Faulkner soundtrack, which was very butt rock.
Yeah.
So
no, it's kind of, that was kind of the same thing, is that like I used a like Star Wars sound library, and it was actually, so I made a whole video about the process and kind of what I learned and appreciating fan works and all that stuff. And the thing that I really walked away from was like this. So what I really tried to do was also have this synthesis in how I approached not just the editing, but like what sound effects I was using. So I specifically just took from like original, or I equally took lightsaber sounds from the original and prequel trilogies.
Because this is canonically taking place between the two.
Exactly. And so there's a bunch of moments where like it will be stuff, the kind of older, squeakier lightsaber sounds, and then like some of the more heavy stuff. Gosh, I actually went back and watched it, and outside of, because there's only so much you can do without making new scenes. Outside of some of that stuff, like it's a pretty cohesive thing. I think the whole kind of operation, the thing I really liked about Obi-Wan when I saw the show was that the emphasis it had on Obi-Wan's trauma and him processing that. Yeah. And I think like the thing I really wanted to do with that like video cut is to strip away everything that wasn't focusing on that. And there was other stuff I got to do too. Like I think one of my other favorite videos or favorite moments when I rewatched it again this year, because I made it 2 years ago, completely forgot about it. Is like when Obi-Wan is saying goodbye to Leia, and I kind of like faded out the music they had and added a little bit of like the Skywalker theme, because she's never actually had a Skywalker theme moment,
despite the
really,
fact that,
in the
she is one.
exactly. And so they kind of embrace, as there's like the swelling of the score a little bit. It's just if you have a chance, feel free to check it out. I think it's still up for download.
Can you drop a link in the Discord so I can throw it into the chat? Oh, you're on,
yes, I will.
You're on phone right now, so that's probably going to be a bit cumbersome at the moment.
Oh no, I'll let you go. I gotta go get some food anyway. I just got done with the 6-hour stream, but yeah, I will message you the link to the file real quick.
Okay. That is entirely fair. What I will say, just real quick, did you read the Kenobi book?
Which one? The adaptation?
No. The book that came out before the series, that was about him doing the not murder mystery, but it was basically a Scooby-Doo book more than anything.
No, but I do like that. I remember I read, because I voraciously consumed. I had an aunt who is largely responsible for a lot of my love of reading, and all through like elementary school and middle school, I voraciously consumed Star Wars books, and one of them I really liked was there were a number of Mysteries of the Jedi or whatever that were just like scholastic chapter books that were all it's gorgeous Obi-Wan artwork on the front that were like very like minimalist and black and dark and blue tones and stuff like that. But no, I haven't read any of the newer ones. So regrettably,
the premise for the Kenobi book is it takes place literally days after Episode 3 ends. And it's how Kenobi, or how Obi-Wan gets adjusted to living on Tatooine now. His first like disagreements with the Lars family, like all of that is covered in there. And the overarching narrative is about a family, or a series of families that are getting raided by Tusken raiders, and it's a Scooby-Doo unmasking story of trying to figure out who's responsible for the Tusken attacks. Because it's not actually Tusken Raiders.
That's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. I like that.
It's a very fun book, and it also goes into it has a fight scene where some of the first troopers from the Empire go into a cantina, and the way that Obi-Wan kills the troopers to get himself out of the cantina and make it look like it was bandits. There's a whole bit where he steals a blaster, shoots out a light so that everybody's covered in darkness for a second, runs up to each stormtrooper as fast as he can, and does the flick thing with the saber where you just... The thing that Kylo Ren did in the second sequel movie, where you just hold the lightsaber up to somebody, press the button, and turn it on real quick.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Just did that to every trooper so that it looked like they all took blaster wounds.
That's so funny. That's pretty good. I like that a lot.
If you ever get a chance to read it, it's a phenomenal book. It's a very fun read. And I originally wanted the Kenobi show to be that, but I'm happy we got the version of it that we did end up getting still. But yeah, I'm going to let you go so you can get some food.
Okay. And I'm let me know what you think of the edit if you get the chance to check it out. Alrighty, have a good one.
See ya. Yeah, the quick on-off. Yep. You like the original character fic more than any other fic, not gonna lie. Oh, cool, I made it for a Rhinoceros stream. Not anymore. The Rhino stuff is over. Let's see here. Zenna says, I watched that one edit of the original to make it fit in the original release. Once at least, it's very good. KTRL says, did you hear about the theatrical version of A New Hope getting shown in theaters here soon? I did hear about that. I kind of want to. I do kind of want to see it. But I also just did a rewatch of all of Star Wars with Saki, so I don't know if it's like in the cards for me to do that right now, because it's, I can watch Star Wars a lot, but I can't back-to-back it. It's very hard for me to back-to-back Star Wars. Also, here's the link. Dead Domain just sent me the link real quick. So there's the link right there to Dead Domain's edit, and then I will take a look at that. You have Nile Blue going out of my TV that made us completely bananas. I wouldn't say no to an Asajj fic. Dude, Asajj Ventress is so fucking cool, and I'm very happy that, Okay, how many of you have seen enough of, like, the Star Wars extended material to know, what ultimately happens with Ventress, how she does end up becoming maybe not a Jedi, but definitely one of the people on the side of good. You love the flirty back and forth with Kenobi. I like the flirty back and forth with Kenobi. I like that she ended up settling down with a Jedi Master. Like, she actually does take a husband later. In the books, the books go into her transitioning to a more like neutral bounty hunter and settling down with an ex-Jedi Master. And that's just like, that's who she's with afterwards. And I love that shit. I absolutely love that shit. I really like stories where, you know, the villains... I like stories where the villains turn good. I really like stories where the villains turn good. And Asajj she's just a fun fucking character. She really is. Dante says, I know she ends up good, but I didn't know about the details. Yeah. No, Ventress is great. Ventress is honestly great. You know, I'm kind of liking Star Wars stuff that's not having to do with the here's actually why, how the things in the movies happen. If it wasn't for this background thing, it would have never happened. Like, the less connected it is to keeping up with the Skywalkers, the better for me. Fair. Dante says, like, I could picture the Star Wars wiki image of her in my head when she's good. Jess says, she only had to kill how many people? Look, I like me a woman with a body count, okay? Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagittarius, you know I'm not saying that last part, Valis of Sereth, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.